The long wait for justice gets a little shorter. Proceedings began for the man who admits killing soldiers at Fort Hood. It's been more than 3 years since that deadly shooting spree at Fort Hood.
Today, jury selection finally started for the court-martial of the Army Major accused of pulling the trigger. KXAN's Chris Sadeghi is at Fort Hood with the latest on the proceedings.
Back in 2009, right here on this Army post, 13 people were shot and killed. Since that time, a judge has been dismissed due to bias. There have been multiple delays over a beard, and millions of dollars have been spent. Now, finally, a jury is being selected. Surrounded by freight cars and other barricades, you could barely see the heavily fortified Justice Center where Major Nidal Hasan, still sporting a long black beard, was wheeled into a courtroom and again stated that he would represent himself. Hasan has said he would only retain the services of former U.S. Attorney General Ramsey Clark if Judge Tara Osborne changed her mind and allowed him to make the case that the shooting and killing of American soldiers was to help protect other people, a defense strategy the judge has said she will not allow. He also asked that he be allowed to wear something other than the Army combat uniform because he said, quote, "I take no pride in wearing this uniform. It represents an enemy of Islam." Jury panel selection began at 2:30. Over the next 20 days or so, more than 140 officers will be questioned in a group setting and individually to determine whether or not they're fit for the panel and if their schedule of military duties would allow them to be a panel member. Even though he is representing himself, Hasan does have consultants to help him in the jury selection process. And this afternoon, the judge ruled that Hasan would have to remain in that Army combat uniform, and then the first 20 prospective panel members were brought in. They were asked if through their Army service, if they knew any of the victims of the Fort Hood shooting, and a few of them did raise their hand. Hasan declined to question the jurors during the general questioning, but he said he would question them during the individual questioning, which is expected to begin on Wednesday morning. We're at Fort Hood. Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
Here's a closer look at how this military court-martial is different from a civilian trial. The jurors are called panel members, and there will be at least 12 of them for this case. The panel members need to either outrank or be of the same rank as Hasan. The panel will declare a verdict and then pronounce a punishment. Then the base commander has to approve the decision. If the panel chooses the death penalty, the conviction will be automatically appealed.
The government is spending millions of dollars on Hasan's trial. The biggest cost is for the attorneys. That's more than $12 million bucks. So far, the military has paid, or $2 million, would correct that. So far, the military has paid more than $548,000 to keep Hasan in jail. Most of that is for extra security. And also, Hasan still gets his military pay while he waits for that trial. That adds up to more than $291,000.